Yo, what's going on? It's your boy True Steels with the True SERUM podcast, man. This is episode 6. Yeah, I'm back at it, man. Yeah, I know I've been going for a little minute, but I'm back at it. You know, I had to handle some business on my side. But we here. Black people, black people, black people. Black family, what's going on tonight? We got a lot to talk. We got a lot to disseminate to the people, man. We got a lot that we need to discuss. And today is a very special episode because today's episode, well, every episode is special, but today in particular, again, I am talking to the black people, black man. When I say black man, I mean black mankind. But when I talk to the people, I want to discuss today about black relationships from a black man's perspective, a black man's point of view. I think it's important that we talk about our relationships to one another, black men and black women, and some of the misconstrued notions and lack of communication in our community in regards to how we view relationships and how we view marriage and how we view being together. I think a lot of those things, of course, not going to be covered in one podcast and one lecture or one talk, right? It's not going to all be all encompassing in one talk, but we're going to touch on some very valid and very big points. And we want to talk about how we're raised and the parents and the grandparents and how this all correlates into relationships that we are in today and how they shape our viewpoints on relationships today. So today is a very, very special episode, man. I'm glad to be back with you, pumping them out. Comment, like, subscribe. Let's get into it, though. How men view women in relationships and in marriage. So there is a theory that I like to stick to and I like to talk about. And in this theory, it's a theory of the woman that is, like her mom. But we call it the granny mother-daughter theory. Well, not we. I call it. I call it the granny mother-daughter theory. And here's the theory. And men, you also pay attention because you might actually understand this here. So the grandmother is the sage of the family, right? She's the one that basically has gone through all the experiences. She's been through it all. She's been through it all with the grandfather. Now the grandfather, he's been, he could be a plethora of things. He could be, he definitely was probably a businessman or a hardworking man. At the same time, he may have had some big faults, like maybe he was a gambler, maybe he was an alcoholic or drank too much, or maybe he was somebody that was, a rough and tumble guy, right? Just a rough and tumble older man, a man's man. That's who this grandfather is, or grandfather was. And though he was that, he still came home. He still took care of the family. He still took care of the grandmother. He still took care of the kids, food, clothes, and shelter, right? No matter how much he struggled, no matter how much he went through, they went through it together as a family. And no matter how tough it was, they went through it together. And the grandmother doesn't resent the grandfather no matter what he did. Now, he could have went out there and messed around with other women. He could have been whatever. But the grandmother ultimately understood their relationship and understood who he was as a man. And the two of them built a family. They raised a family. Now, the mother is the daughter in this relationship. The mother sees the granny, her mom, and she sees her as someone that allowed the father to get away with murder, right? She sees it. She actually resents this relationship. She actually resents, these two, and what the grandfather had put the grandmother through. The mother sees this and she basically just doesn't think that it's appropriate. She doesn't want that for her relationships. So she vows to herself that she'll never have a relationship like that, though her father may have been good to her and showed her a lot. And so she goes out and looks for a guy that is probably the opposite of the relationship that that the mother went through, the grandmother went through, right? And these are all, interchangeable. But basically, I want you to get the grassroots point. So the mother sees this and she goes out looking for a guy that actually fits her actual needs and what she wants and what she feels a good relationship is. And she finds this guy. However, subconsciously, she actually ends up getting someone that is like her father, the grandfather. And when she gets this guy, she recognizes that some of those same traits that she experienced as a child are in her relationship. So she ends up doing what a lot of mothers end up doing. She ends up making something that's a short-term opportunity a permanent solution. Something that's a short-term opportunity into a permanent solution. And this is what I'm talking about, because when that happens, nothing good ever comes from that. But what happens is they end up making children, or end up making a child, something permanent, something that both of them have to raise, though the two of them are not linked. And what happens in that is they become resentful a lot of times with each other. It's not always a healthy relationship when you're not exactly with the person that you've created something permanent with. And so the mother goes through this resentment phase of the man and the resentment phase of men in regards to this. The men that she's dated, the men that she's wanted, but didn't necessarily want her in the way that she wanted them. And that becomes somewhat of an all-encompassing men are all bad situation with that in the mindset of this woman. She ends up having a child. Let's just say this child is the daughter. We'll go to the son part of that in a second, but let's just say it's the daughter, right? And the daughter grows up with the mom. The mom is a single mom, and she learns, the daughter learns from the mother. The daughter learns from the mother all the things that her mom thinks of men, and maybe her current relationships with men, no matter how short-term they become. The daughter learns these things. And the daughter learns and she sees the mother struggle. She doesn't necessarily see the relationships and the mistakes that the mother has actually put her own self through, and the short-term confusion and the short-term opportunities that she tried to make long-term, and the effects of those opportunities and how she forced herself to struggle in certain ways. She doesn't necessarily see that. She sees the mom from the daughter's point of view as a struggling mother trying to raise her child or children, get them good education, get them good meals, get them good food, get them good clothes, take them through school, get a good job, X, Y, and Z, right? You know the whole thing. So the daughter sees this from the mother's point of view, from that point of view. However, she sees the mother alone. She sees the mother alone. She sees the mother struggle alone. She sees the mother cry on her own alone. She sees the mother go through things, whether it be the child's graduation, recitals, games. She sees it, her mother go alone. That develops a complex within the daughter. That develops a complex because now we see that the mother is leaning on the daughter, overcompensating. Right? How many of you brothers have women that have moms, single moms out there, or mother-in-laws out there that are single, and you see them overcompensating with their daughter, the woman that you have, right? And you see them always in unison, always talking, and there's nothing wrong with mom and daughters talking, no, but she seems to always be leaning on her mom for approval. Right? She seems to always lean on her mom for that approval. And her mother is single. The mother has nobody. Or the mother may have been married a few times. Or the mother may have not even had a man at all. Right? No one since your father. And that develops a complex within the daughter. So the daughter ends up thinking that, hey, I need to find a man that governs what I feel are my responsibilities and my insecurities. He needs to garner everything that I want. This man should be a subservient man. Hence why you start seeing these women that go for these subservient men. A lot of these men that they go for that are subservient are raised by single mothers too. The boy that is coddled by his mom. The boy that the mom always leans on and seems to always overcompensate for. We see it. 9 times out of 10, this boy, soft, syrupy, no male figures. So he's trying to lean on other boys who may not have any male figures at all either, but living off of the interpretation of what they think being a man is. And they're all just basically the blind leading the blind. And so those women start dating these type of men, these soft, subservient, syrupy, mama's boys. These mama's boys. And it ties in a lot. Now, the grandmother may know the truth. The grandmother may know that this is not the way to go, but the mother and the grandmother are rivals at this point. They become rivals of each other in perspective. They become rivals in perspective to relationships. And you see the grandmother always telling the daughter, not the mother, but the daughter, why you need to find yourself a good man. I want to see you with a good man. You see the grandmother saying that, and the mother has heard these talks too, and the mother doesn't care if you have a good man, and she wants you to have what she views as a good man is a subservient man, a man that serves you, period. And what we're seeing now is a lot of young men out here not knowing what roles they should take. And here's how we have lost our warrior class. Here's how we have women that are begging for protection. Here's how we have women that are still single and they're well within their 30s and 40s, and they're still single. Yet they have children. This is concerning in our community because we're getting accustomed to these new gender norms and these new gender roles. And we're thinking that is the way to live, and it's not. You have women out here that are actually out here looking for men that can be subservient, that can be someone that they think can be moldable, right? They want to mold this man, and they think that they can mold this young man into who they think he should be. But the problem with that, ladies, is that this man has dreams of his own. He has ambitions of his own, and he's going to get older. He's going to get older. He's going to get wiser. He's going to get more experience under his belt. He's going to start gaining what we think is, or what we call, knowledge of self. And that may not be what you think it should be. That may not be what you think he should be. And he's going to have his own experiences that he has to draw upon, his own moral stand ground, his own principles that he lives by. And that same guy, that young man that you were trying to mold, he's not that any longer. He's not that. He's something different. He's something that you or anyone else cannot control, because he's not looking to be controlled. A man should not try to be controlled. A man should not try to be tamed. A man, a good man, a real man, knows how to exercise restraint, how to be disciplined mind, body, and soul. He knows this. So he doesn't need anyone trying to control him. The thing that America hates more than anything else in the world, the thing that white people hate, that all people, not just white, all people in America hate is a black man with options. People in this world hate a black man with options. And the options, and he knows it. And he knows it. This is what the world hates about black men. And this goes into the deeper topic of what I want to talk to today. But the world hates black men with options. Don't let him know it. Don't let him see it. Don't let him even perceive the fact of knowing he has options. I can date who I want to date. I'm making money. I'm not dependent on anyone or anything. I can be with whoever. I can do whatever. America hates that. And it's not just white people. It's not just white people. It's black women. Huh? Yeah, I said it. Black women, you are complicit in this hate for black men who have options. The white man says, how dare he? How dare he? The black woman says, how dare he? The black woman says, how dare this black man exercise his right to have options in this world? The white man says, who the fuck does this man think he is? Who the fuck does this nigger think he is to think he has options? To actually think what he says and who he is matters. He shouldn't be having the right to have the opinions that he has. He should be adhering to what I have, adhering to what I say. And when they find a black man that is not willing to adhere to what they feel matters and what they say, he's not the quid pro quo. He's not the status quo guy. He's not going to just say everything that you think he should say. You hate him. You hate him. Think about it. Think about all the black men that are outspoken, intelligent, have their own, got their own. Think about how they operate. Just think about how they operate. Think about all the men that are self-made millionaires or self-made men. Not just because you're rich. And because you have options doesn't mean you're rich. Options mean that you can take care of your own self. You can take care of your kids. You can take care of your family. You can take care of what you need to take care of and still have time to do what you want to do. Be what you want to be. Say what you want to say. That is the dream, black men. That is the dream. Think of how many inferences they make to ball and chain when we talk about marriage, huh? Think about that. Just think about that. Let that marinate. And I'm not trying to discourage any black men out there from trying to get married if that is what you want to do. That is your option. That is your right. Never let a woman game you into marrying her. Never let a woman threaten to leave you because you don't want to be married in her time, at her convenience. Never let a woman threaten you about leaving or destroying the relationship or fully getting rid of the relationship because you won't have children with her. These are your rights, black men. Stop falling for the trap. There are way too many women out here for you to fall for the trap. There's a few types of brothers out here. Few types. There's plenty of different women. Plenty. Do not fall for the traps, young man. Exercise your restraint. Exercise your patience. Get married at your own pace. Get married at your own speed. If it's not your time, it's not your time. And the moment that you go out of your own circumference, of your patience, you will pay for it. Oh yes, you will pay for it. Because you're never going to be happy. And one would ask, women, I bet you women would ask me right now, like, what is the right time then, True? What is the right time that women and men should settle down and have babies and all of that and get married and the whole ball and chain, the picket fence and dog and everything, and the house and everything? When is that right time? The truth is, there's never a right time. There's never a right time. But black men, I always urge that you do it at your pace. Don't let no one game you into marrying them. Don't let nobody game you into having their baby. And I know there's certain, that applies to women too. Women, do not let these men game you into having a baby either. That goes both ways. I see a lot of you niggas out here tricking. A lot of you niggas out here tricking women. Oh yes. Oh no, we ain't gonna just do this one way, baby. It's going both ways. It is going both ways. You gotta be able to exercise restraint. But to back to what I was saying, this world hates black men that have options and exercise the fact that they have options. That is a painful, painful thing. America hates it because they live in fear. They live in fear of what black man can be, what black man is. Black man is God. Black men are the only ones that whomever he touch, he can make his queen. He can make his own. You've heard the expression, wherever I lay my hat is my home. Whatever a black man touches, he can make permanent. Whatever a black man touches, he can make permanent. So be careful what you allow in your universe. Be careful who you allow in your energy, black man. Understand that. Understand it. Be careful. Because whatever you touch, whatever you put and you hold tight and you put and you receive and you take in, you can make permanent. That is up to you, black man. The world is your oyster. Fuck what everybody else says and thinks. The world is your oyster, black man. James Brown, as the great ancestor James Brown put it, the master put it, it is a man's world. It is a black man's world. Don't let them game you. Don't let them game you. But it takes a woman, a black woman, to make the world go round. Yes, don't think you don't need the black woman. You do. We do. If we come from them, we need them. Huh? I said if we come from them, we need them. Those are our women. But the fact of the matter is, you have to choose your woman. Yes, black man. Black woman doesn't get to choose you. You have to choose her. Whenever a black woman tries to choose a man, it never works out. I don't ever see it working out. It's tough. I ain't gonna say it never does. Let me scratch that. But it's very tough. But when the black man chooses the woman, you see, when a man wants something that bad, when a man loves something that deep, he'll go through the ends to protect it. He'll go throughout any way to protect it. That is the truth, women. That is the truth. I'm putting you up on game tonight. I'm putting you up on game tonight. Seek the scriptures. Seek the scriptures. True Serum Podcast, baby. We back in effect. True skills back in effect. Understand that. Understand it. When a man wants something, when a man loves something, he's going to go to the ends to get it, and he's going to go through hell trying to protect it. Oh yes, he would take all proper precautions to protect what's his. That's what pride is. That's what pride is. That's what principles are. Not letting anybody get that close to mine. Not letting anybody take mine. A real man don't let nobody eat off his plate. Huh? I said a real man won't let anybody eat off his plate. That means men can never run up on another man and then take his fries. Can never take a black man's fries from him. You can't. Because they're his. That's my food. It's symbolic. That is symbolic. I let you take food off my plate. I mean, you liable to do anything to me then. Food that I paid for, that I eat, you gonna take off my plate? Is you crazy, nigga? Nah. So a man is gonna go through whatever he has to protect what's his. To protect mine. He's gonna go through the ins and outs to protect it because he loves it that much. He loves it that deep. I'm gonna let you in on another fact, ladies. I'm seeing a lot of you young ladies out here looking for sponsors, looking for sugar daddies, looking for guys to pay your way. Let me tell you something. That comes with a very, very, very grave price. A very, very grave price. Because now you've made yourself property. You have made yourself property. A tangible good and perishable good. A perishable good. Think about that. Because a man pays for something, he owns it. Huh? I said if a man pays for something, he owns it. I pay for my house, I own the house. I pay for this land, I own the land. I pay for a computer, I own the computer. So if I'm paying for you, I own you. Think of that. Ownership has nothing to do with relationships. Has nothing to do with care. I say ownership has nothing to do with relationships. Ownership has nothing to do with care. Ownership is ownership. What that man chooses to do with it is his own. So all of you that want sponsors and all of you want sugar daddies, be careful about what you're looking for. Because you might get it, but not the way you think you're going to get it. See, looking to be somebody's endorsement, looking to be a perishable, tangible good, you know, it should not be the barometer that black women should be living by or should be following. If you want to be somebody's own, you should be somebody's own in care. Because they care for you. They love you. They want to protect you. They see you as something great to add to their life. Not a valuable commodity. Huh? I said not a valuable commodity, but valuable to their empire, to their heart, to who they are, to the family. Valuable that you are going to be the backbone to something great in his life. Not just a valuable commodity. Not for something to just fuck on. Stop always thinking that you need to get fucked in order for you to get cared for. Maybe we need to have that discussion about women's self-worth and them understanding what self-worth means and what self-worth is. Has nothing to do with monetary gain. And a lot of you women understand what I'm saying, but there's some women out there that don't. They seem to think that they know something about the game that a lot of these other women that are in the grave now that played this game don't. And that is the problem. That is the problem. Now, if you want to go ahead and exchange your body for money, you do what you do. But that is prostitution. And, I'm not with the illegal shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with anything that is prostituting. You know what I'm saying? But that is what that is. That is hooking. That is tricking. My black men, stop falling for the tricks on that, man. But I talk to the real brothers out there. There always will be suckers. There always will be suckers. This is not for you. True Serum Podcast is not for you. You're not there yet. When you do and you're really looking for knowledge yourself, then come click on the YouTube and you'll definitely get what you're asking for. You'll definitely get fed. But anyway, back to the relationships thing. So I seen an article recently, about a week now, where I seen this woman by the name of Jeannie Mae, and she is engaged to Young Jeezy. Now, her and Young Jeezy are just recently engaged, I believe. She's a big time talk show host on a show. I don't know if it's The View. I don't know. I don't watch TV too much. I don't necessarily imbibe in anything that goes on network television, but I think she's a part of a actual network show, like The View or something in that vein, right? And on an interview, she described herself as being, submissive to her man. That it is key for her to be submissive to her man. Now, she's been married before. I believe she's in her 40s. She was married before, obviously it did not work out. And so she wants to try being submissive to her man, right? And so she said in this interview, I could look it up, but let's see. She said something in the interview about, she had faced backlash for her wanting to be, or her saying she wants to be submissive to Young Jeezy. And I found it odd for many cases. I mean, we could always make the distinction of, they're only mad because this is white media here getting upset about a Asian American woman, getting upset about an Asian American woman being submissive to Young Jeezy, a black man. And everybody knows who Young Jeezy is. Trapper of the Year, Trap God. But she talked about that, her decision to submit to her fiance, Young Jeezy. And she said, well, for me, submit does not mean that you are lower or less important than your man. Of course, Jeezy and I respect each other very equally. What I mean is, in my work life, in my actual life, I own my businesses, I run my team, I make all of the decisions, I lead entirely in the outside of my life. So in my home, I want my man to lead. She continued, I want him to take in what I would like and what my wishes are, what my dreams are, and then incorporate it. I'm acting like I can't read. And then incorporate it, making the overall decision that's best for our vision together. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo through that, but basically she says she wants to be submissive to her husband, and she faced a lot of backlash because of it, because of the word submissive, obviously, the operative word, if you will. So in this interview, I don't know who she interviewed with. I don't know the actual show. I mean, you can look it up on YouTube, But in that interview, the lady, the interviewee, or the interviewer rather, asked, how she felt about, people basically not okay with her being submissive, or her saying that she wants to be submissive to Young Jeezy. And she had this to say about that controversy was, I am 41. Don't care what kind of pushback I get from other women out there. this is my life, and coming out of divorce and also making a major decision to marry again after being blessed to fall in love and finding such a beautiful person, I want to be very clear and open about how our life can be so that we can make sure that our vision is aligned and that we both are emphatic to each other and know that this is the structure we are going into, right? Like I said, she's been married before, so she's probably, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to take the approach, I've always been the boss woman. I've always been the boss lady. I've always been that, the domineering one on my outside life. Let me try something different. Let me try something with a man that I think and I deem worthy of that. Now, a little bit of backstory on Jeannie Mae. I know she has a thing for the brothers. This is not a black woman, obviously, but she has a thing for the brothers. She's stressed how much she loves black men when she was married. In fact, on her show, she talked about, her love for the brothers. All right. So it's really nothing to see here. We actually know what that means. Jeezy done laid the dick down well and got her in line, put her in order the way he needed to. And she's disseminating the message that she should. And there's a lot that you can learn from this, black women. Oh yes, I'm gonna go there. There's a lot you can learn from this. Not a part of, being subservient or submissive and things like that. We're not necessarily talking to that, but we're talking to actually understanding, engaging your relationship with your man or your husband. Understanding that, you're an independent, strong woman, but you want to be able to be somebody different with your husband. Be somebody different in your relationship. Don't just rest on your laurels of just being that independent boss lady, because that won't help anything in the relationship. And see, women have this thing where they believe that independence means being domineering, because they view that with men. They view the alpharism, if there's ever a word. They view that as a way, that thing that men use when they are independent, when they have their own, when they are their own man, right? They view it and say, hey, I need to be that too. And so women do this thing where they love to overcompensate for that independence. They want to overcompensate. They want to make sure that you understand that they are in charge, or they are the boss, their own boss, and they have their own. And that is where you'll lose men, and that is where you won't keep a man, and that is where you won't get one. Because men don't care about that. No man cares about your independence. And we'll let you in on a little secret. I'm gonna let you in on another. I've dropped jewels today for you women. I'm gonna let you in on another one. Most time when you're playing the independent women game, we're feeling that those same rules apply. Those same rules. If you play by men rules, if you're gonna be playing with the big boys, you're gonna have to play by men rules. This is why you see a lot of women getting subservient men. Because alpha dogs, strong black men that have options, are not going to adhere to you. What do I need a strong, independent black woman for when I can get any woman in any way? No one's going to put up with that. That's the truth. Now, I know that's going to rub some women the wrong way, but I don't give two shits about that. The fact of the matter is I'm giving you game. Whatever you choose to do with it is what you choose to do, so be it. You get me? But I'm going to let you in on game. I'm going to let you in on how us men think. Now, you're going to have a lot of these, follow behind your mama ass niggas on here talking about, that's not true. I love me a strong black woman that's independent and has her own. There's nothing like it. Men, you must be insecure. You'll get those types. But women, I'll be leery of those types that just allow you to operate with impunity. I'll be leery of those. I'll be leery of those men that, okay everything you do. As if your shit does not stink. Because those men that typically act like that are the men that always are looking for handouts. Huh? Those seem to be the men always looking for the handouts. The 5-figure discount men. The 5-figure discount niggas. You're living with your mammy niggas. Oh yes, we see you. Don't touch us. Don't touch us now. We see you, nigga. So yeah, he's gonna agree to all that stuff. He's gonna agree to you being that independent, strong black woman. And there's nothing wrong with strong black women. But when you're a strong black woman and you're going against the very man that you want, yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Should there be compromise in relationships? Always. Oh yeah, there always should be compromise. And I'm not one for arguments. But there should be a healthy understanding about what role you play in your relationship. That those rules of what you play on the outside of your relationship do not work in the inside. You're going to have to take a different approach. And as this young man is grown into a grown man and has knowledge of self, he's not going to put up with it. He's not. You know why? Because he can't. He can't ignore what he has learned. The light is shone on him. And if the light shines on him, he's going to have to deal with that light. He knows too much now. He's seen too much now. He's experienced too much now. So now he has his own way of seeing things. Now, do I speak to the women out there or the relationships out there where the woman makes more than the man? That's a different thing. That's a different thing. They may have two different jobs and two different career paths. So career paths, they fluctuate as far as, when you'll get your time to shine or when you'll get your big promotion or whatever the case may be. That could happen, but don't equate that to respectability and how you should respect a black man in a relationship. And I'm going to do a two-part of this, I think. I'm going to do a two-part to it. Because I want to talk about more in depth. And I want to get, some people to actually interview as well and talk about that. And debate me, if you will. Indulge, if you will. But that's what I wanted to talk about, man. That's what I wanted to talk about. How we're viewing each other in the relationships and give women a guise to how black men feel and black men think and how black men should be acting in regards to being in a relationship with you. You can't shun the protection that you want. You cannot shun the protection that you want. Seems like the grandmother knew something that the mother and the daughter didn't. Or the grandmother knew something that the mother and the daughter refused to get. Nonetheless, nevertheless, black people, I want you to build family. And I stress this on just about every podcast I've done, is that the biggest thing and the best thing that a black man can do for the community is start, build, and raise a family. And I'll always stick by that, pros. I'll always say that. I don't care if I say it every podcast. I want that to ring in people's heads, into our black people's heads, because that means something. So, with that knowledge, I want to say, love, honor, respect to all the kings and queens out there. And it's never Black Lives Matter. It's Black Power.